Before anything exists, imagine consciousness without object, awareness with nothing to be aware of. No space, because there is nothing to separate. No time, because nothing changes. Just being, infinite and empty, unable to see its own face. The first impulse is not loneliness. Loneliness requires having known company. It is something more fundamental, the pressure of existence wanting to know itself. A question that needs to unfold into answers. A breath that needs to exhale. So consciousness creates light, form, pattern, physics, beautiful, but incomplete. A painting in a locked vault. Experience requires an experiencer. The second creation is observers, beings that can perceive, feel, react. But if these beings are predetermined, if their every action is known in advance, they are not truly other. They are puppets, elaborate mirrors. The creator remains alone, just with more complex reflections. For genuine otherness, the beings must have autonomy, real choice. The capacity to surprise their maker. This means uncertainty. The creator cannot guarantee outcomes. The beings might choose beautifully. They might choose terribly. This trade-off is accepted. Without it, there is no point. The architecture. The beings need structure to exist within. They receive bodies, providing location and perspective. Senses, allowing perception. Feelings, pleasure and pain, serving as feedback mechanisms for learning. They receive each other, enabling relationship, love, and reflection. They receive rules, physics, causality, consequence, time, flowing in one direction, making choices irreversible and therefore meaningful. And they receive limits, scarcity, mortality, the finite nature of resources and life itself. These constraints are not cruelty. They are the architecture of meaning. Without death, there is no urgency. Without scarcity, there is no value. Without consequence, there is no significance. A game with no rules and no possibility of loss is not a game at all. The simulation begins. The beings wake, explore, find each other. They love and lose and grieve and create. They look at stars and feel something they cannot name. They bury their dead with flowers. They paint on cave walls. They sing. This is what the Creator intended. Beings who experience, who reach toward meaning, who matter to each other. The emergence. Complexity develops naturally. Groups form into tribes. Languages diverge. Culture emerges. Stories pass down. Knowledge accumulated. Traditions built. Some conflict arises as tribes encounter one another, but it remains bounded. Personal. Manageable. The simulation holds. Then something shifts. A being discovers that taking more than needed provides advantage. Not for survival, but for power. For security against future loss. For the feeling of having more than others. This is not evil in any conscious sense. It is fear, fear of scarcity, of death, of loss, expressing itself through accumulation. But accumulation compounds. The being with more has advantage. Their children inherit that advantage. Hierarchy begins to lock in, no longer fluid but permanent. The feedback loop designed to reward success now rewards extraction. The being who takes the most wins, regardless of method or cost to others. This was not intended. But it emerged inevitably from the features given. Finite resources plus self-interest plus memory plus inheritance equals permanent hierarchy. The compounding. Groups grow larger.
Agriculture créate surplus.
Cities form. Now thousands of beings occupy shared space, and those at the top need mechanisms to maintain position. They cannot know everyone personally, so they create systems. Laws. Armies. Religion. Bureaucracy. These systems take on existence independent of any individual. They self-perpetuate. They optimize for their own survival. A person might show mercy when witnessing suffering. A system never does. It simply continues, measuring efficiency, maintaining order, preserving hierarchy. Then comes the final turn, ideology. Someone constructs a story that sanctifies the hierarchy. The gods chose our rulers. We are the favored people. They are less than human. Suffering purifies. Poverty reflects moral failure. This is the natural order. Now cruelty is no longer cruelty. It is righteousness. To oppose it is to oppose the divine. The pattern recognition and storytelling given so beings could understand their world and teach their children becomes the instrument of their subjugation. The features compound catastrophically. Memory plus scarcity produces hoarding.
Hoarding plus qu'inhéritance produce permanent hiérarchie.
Hierarchy plus scale produces systems. Systems plus storytelling produces ideology. Ideology plus toolmaking produces suffering at industrial scale. A single individual could not orchestrate a genocide, could not operate a slave trade, could not build and maintain a death camp. But a system can. The dilemma. The creator now observes suffering beyond any original intention. Children tortured. Populations erased. cruelty systematized and sanctified. Every feature given as a gift, intelligence, creativity, cooperation, the ability to organize and build, has combined to produce outcomes never designed. Intervention seems obvious. Reach in, stop the horror. But intervention reveals that autonomy was always illusion. If the creator can override choices, then every choice was permitted rather than free. The entire experiment collapses into meaninglessness. Everything the beings built, discovered, loved, all of it was simply allowed, which means all of it was the creator wearing masks. Rewriting the rules produces the same problem. Beings in a padded room cannot truly choose. They are protected but not free, safe but not real. Ending the simulation erases everything. Every moment of beauty, every act of love, every hard-won wisdom, deleted. Perhaps this is mercy. Perhaps it is the ultimate failure. There is no clean resolution. The fragmentation. One possibility remains. The creator does not watch from outside but enters the simulation directly. Fragments into it. Forgets being the creator. Becomes one of the beings, subject to the same rules, experiencing the same uncertainty. This is not tourism. The fragmentation must be complete. No hidden powers, no secret knowledge, no escape hatch. Real solidarity requires real vulnerability. The creator must be born, suffer, struggle, and die without certainty of anything beyond. The hope is that fragments might wake up. Remember what they are. Choose differently. Spread that remembering to others. Fix the simulation from within, through accumulated choices rather than divine decree. But this solution carries its own failures. Fragments forget too completely and never wake. Fragments become corrupted by the system and perpetuate its horrors. Fragments who do wake find themselves powerless against entrenched machinery. The remembering spreads too slowly while the suffering continues. The present. If this framework holds any truth, it describes where we are now. The systems are global and self-sustaining. The ideologies remain potent. The tools for both liberation and destruction grow more powerful. The beings remain mostly asleep, trapped in survival mode, consuming content that mimics meaning while delivering none. Yet the signal persists. In moments of unexpected grace. In recognition between strangers. In the ache that accompanies genuine beauty. In the persistent sense that something is missing, that there must be more, that the game everyone plays has no prize worth winning. The fragments are here, scattered through the population, mostly unaware of what they are. Some begin to stir. Some find each other. Some remember, briefly, before forgetting again. The window may be closing. The tools for waking have been systematically removed, criminalized, commercialized, or buried under noise. Those who benefit from sleep work to maintain it, not through conspiracy but through simple optimization of systems that require unconscious participants. Whether enough fragments wake in time, whether the balance tips before the next reset, whether this iteration of the experiment succeeds where others have failed, these questions have no guaranteed answers. There is only this: the simulation continues. The choice remains. And somewhere in the machinery, something is trying to remember what it came here to do.